Hey, back again. Okay, so we're still working on the function report, and now we're on to question 6. Most function reports have this at question 6, so just look for it. It asks you, what are you doing from the time you get up to the time you go to bed? And this is a really important question. It's obviously a question of substance, and it's very open-ended to see where people will answer. With regard to how we recommend, or I recommend, that's my bird, pardon. I'll introduce him to you another time. You don't want to simply say something like, I lie in pain all day, or I suffer pain all day. End of story. Not helpful. They know you've already complained of pain because you probably put it in your disability report. So what you want to do is truly go through a typical day. Now, every day is not the same. Some days you have doctor's appointments, sometimes you don't. Some days you might clean up the dishes after yourself. Some days you might just feel like crap and leave them in the sink. So talk about a typical, the majority of days, generally what would happen. You can get into minutia, but remember that you have small and limited space. And yes, while they say you can add in your remarks, and I'm sure you can add additional pages, you got to remember there's a human at the other end of that who will be reading it and who has a gazillion other cases. So you want to stick to the pertinent points while being accurate. Okay. So things that I would always include, and this is most people. Most people at the time they are seeking disability are really, really limited in their day-to-day. Things that don't show up in your medical records. They just don't. And it's appalling because that's the only way they really take notice. But there are, we'll talk later about how you need to start getting those into your medical records. And there are ways to do that. And it has to do with full communication with your provider on every level and using all sorts of avenues for that. But if you sleep or rest inclined, either in a bed or in a recliner or on a couch. And when I say, if you recline, you are no longer in a sitting upright or a standing, walking, shuffling back to forth, upright work position, because reclining or lying down horizontal are not work postures. For the reclining, particularly if you have to elevate a leg or two above your heart for a certain portion of the day, broken up or otherwise, that is a non-work posture because you can't really do that and get work done, even a desk job, in a work environment. So if you have to do that, if you have leg impairments, foot impairments, back impairments, neck impairments, and you find that or a totally different kind of medical problem that fatigues you so badly that you just have to go nap, that's something you're going to want to bring up. How much of your day do you spend having to recline to mitigate pain, prevent it from escalating further so you can get back to baseline and maybe eat some dinner with your family, or make it to that doctor appointment later, which really drains you. You're going to want to put those timeframes. So start thinking about it. I would think about it before you have to do this report. If you're my client, this information will have already been obtained from you at the time you hooked up with us, because I like to have it all my ducks in a row before a report is demanded. It gives you time. It means you don't have to stress later. We have it all done, prepared, and out for you as soon as they demand it. So the rest part, the elevating your legs part, very important. If you're not sure how much time it is, but it's at least an hour or two a day, put that. If you think it's more than that, put that. You don't necessarily have to know the exact amount of time. You can just say frequently. It's all kind of vague at this point because you probably haven't been keeping a symptom journal yet, which I would definitely advise you do. So the resting part, definitely want to have in there if that's something that takes place during your day. You can start with the morning, taking your meds and all that, minutia of your day. But you don't want it to necessarily sound like a person who's on vacation or early retirement and just leisurely going through his day. If you do think, let's say you say, well, I take a shower and then I have a little breakfast. Well, if you take a shower and get dressed in a very slow and careful manner, because you don't want to aggravate pain, pull something that you might be prone to pull, maybe lose your balance, whatever the case may be. Use those descriptors when you describe, when you say, I get up and take a shower, you can explain in the same sentence very slowly. You know, maybe it's some people, it takes like a half hour to even get up and move around enough to actually get into the bathroom. Whatever the case may be, you want to make sure those details that show that you're not just a regular person taking a shower, that this is done differently because of your impairments. If you might be inclined to put in that you go to the doctors, well, you probably don't go every day, although some people do. If you do a little cleaning, it's not a crime to do a little cleaning, and disabled people clean. You know, they just don't do it as vigorously as non-disabled people, and they don't do it all day long, and they don't do it usually as quickly, and they usually don't even do it all in one episode. A lot of people will take 2 days to do a load of laundry because they do it piecemeal. The folding might take 2 days. Separating, if they're the type that are that diligent, unlike myself. If you occasionally dust, you might mention that, you know, you do light cleaning, but you do it in pieces, or you do it 10-minute blocks. Maybe you do 3 10-minute blocks a day, so that you get the basics done and keep your house the minimally clean or orderly that you like. Some people can't do any of that, but a lot of people can, and there's no reason not to say that, because you want to be accurate, but you also want to be accurate enough so that they know that this is not like a house cleaner would clean the house. It's not 8 hours a day. It's probably not even 7 days a week. By and large, I tend to see people who maybe put in 30 minutes a day, but everyone's different. So figure out what yours is. Document your days. I would start doing that now, so that when you have this report to do, you're going to know what you do on a typical day. If you have good days and bad days, you could say this is on a good day, and you're still limited. Oftentimes a bad day does mean in bed for the day. I get that, or on the couch for the day. So that would, describing the bad day when you have, say, 4 good days a week, probably isn't going to be helpful, because it's not going to be representative, and that's going to be clear. I would make sure to use, I would say that this is my good days, which are about 4 to 7 days a week. It's like this. You could go and say what your bad days are like and add on in remarks, because you're not going to have enough room. But keep it accurate. The minutia you're going to put in there, you want to describe how the ways it's limited. You know, so don't just say you do it. Say how you do it, or how you can't do it. What those limits are, so that it's clear that you're not going to be able to do it like a professional would, that particular task, because almost every home task has its professional counterpart. So keep all that in mind. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me. Subscribe to the Rumble channel, all things Social Security, and you will be kept up to date on all these function report questions and my take on what's the best way to answer them. Every lawyer is different, and everyone does it as they will. But that's my take, and I hope it helps you, and I will see you next time. Take care now.